Hi everybody! Today I wanted to show a quick way to make a sunset card. Just using distress inks, the same way I do the galaxy background, I do the sunset card or sunrise card, however you want to look at it. And I'm going to be using this palm tree set from Technique Junkies. I find myself more and more being pulled towards solid image stamps like this because it gives a nice silhouette. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I just have my Nina White, Solar White cardstock here. I have 3 distress ink colors: Mustard Seed, Wild Honey, and Abandoned Coral. Any colors will work depending on how you want to set it. I mean, you've all seen sunset or picture sunsets. There are all different colors out there. So you can use blues, purples, reds, pinks, whatever you want to use. But these are the ones that I just happen to grab. So I'm going to start with the mustard seed first. And just start at the bottom off the mat. And with a light hand, just kind of go in a circular motion and pull that color up. And when you think you have enough of that, you just move on to the next color. And you just use a light hand, and if you don't think that it's blending well, you just go back over it until it's smoothed in the way that you feel comfortable with it. And the stamp is pretty large. It's going to cover most of this, so don't worry if there's some splotchiness. It will even out a little bit as it dries. And then once I have a base layer, I'll go back in with the other colors and kind of overlap and give it a little more of a blend so that there's no harsh lines between the colors. Bristol Smooth White blends very well. If you have that, that's usually my first choice. I just happen to have this cut up on the desk, so I'm using it. But the Bristol, I think, is much easier to blend with than the Nina. But the Nina is still very nice paper. I also like blending with Stampin' Up. Their white paper is also very smooth because it has a little bit of coating on it, which makes it smooth and easy to deal with. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. So again, Mustard Seed, Wild Honey, and Abandoned Coral were the ones I used. And then I have my Mini Misty over here with the stamp already in it. And then what you need to do, because this is a red rubber stamp, you need to remove the foam insert. That's usually in there for cling stamps. So I've removed that. I'm not going to heat emboss this. If you were going to heat emboss this, you would let your distress ink dry. Because if you try to heat emboss this, it will stick all over your background because the heat embossing, that's way too long. The distress inks cause your background to be wet a little bit. Alright, and I'm going to use my favorite black ink, the VersaFine Black Onyx Pigment Ink. And this is the first time I'm using the stamp, so it may not ink up right away the first time. Usually new stamps have a coating on them, so they don't tend to accept the ink right away. You do a couple stampings. And you can see how it's not really that black there. So I'm going to stamp it again, which is why we use the Misty. would like it a little darker in the middle there. You gotta be careful because you don't want to lose too much of that detail, but you can tell that this is palm trees, so I don't need it to be perfect. Alright, I'm just going to remove my magnets and be careful because that black ink will still smear. It takes a while to dry. But there you can see my background with the palm trees. Now I'll probably cut this bottom off and then I'll stamp the sentiment on the side here. So there it is, guys. That's how you can make a sunset background very easily with your Distress inks. Thanks for watching and keep on stamping.